My name is Bob Griffith, and I am the Senior Systems and Data Analyst within the Office of the Registrar. In my position, I work predominantly with our academic advising. So the role of data reporting within my specific position is, as I mentioned, I work predominantly with our academic advisors, so producing data blocks that they can run. One that I've recently just finished was CPOS reporting for course program of studies. Now our advisors will be able to run a data block for their specific advisee population, see what courses count, what courses don't count towards CPOS. We also have some other reporting tools. We use Argos for what we call the academic advising toolkit. So advisors are able to bring up, enter a student's GID, and then it brings up their specific academic profile, courses that they've taken. We also allow the advisors to enter notes for meetings that they have with the specific advisee, and then we can see all of that within Argos. And then obviously there's a bunch of other reports that we have, advising related, students by major concentration. My background is in DegreeWorks, and so I've started to bring in a lot more data from DegreeWorks into our report, so we can see students and their percentage of completion on the degree audit, things like that. One of the issues that Oakland University has been facing, it was a report that I inherited when I started in my current position, was utilizing a legacy access database for our stop-out population, our stop-out identification population. Obviously with an access database, it took forever to run, and there were multiple steps within that process. Manual data manipulation, so I can send the file to the National Student Clearinghouse, wait for them to send it back, and so that was one that I, over the past year, have revamped and improved, and actually did a presentation on part of that here at the conference. And so I went from like 20 minutes to being able to run the different processes in 20 seconds. So obviously that dramatically speeds up the process and identifying our stop-out population, so that we can do some outreach to those individuals. And then another one would be, as I mentioned, my background prior to this position was in DegreeWorks, and so the individuals prior to me didn't necessarily have the breadth of knowledge of DegreeWorks data, and so now with my knowledge, I've been able to improve the reporting in which we're bringing in DegreeWorks data. So if we're trying to identify students with an SEP or percentage complete, or going through and looking at the audits and, okay, what are the courses that a student may take, must take, things like that you're able to get from within the DegreeWorks data. Being at the conference, I've been excited to see a lot of the new features that Evisions is releasing, the data agent. So I've been utilizing AI a lot in my work. And so seeing that Evisions has developed a tool that incorporates AI into Argos and be able to kind of interact with the data blocks that we already have out there, I think that's really great. So the academic accelerators, the pivot mode and explore data in Argos X, I think that's really fascinating to allow our end users the ability, if we give them the data, then they can really explore it themselves and manipulate it to suit their needs. rather than having to come back to a data block designer and, oh, hey, can we have it this way or can we have it that way? So there's a lot of great features that are coming out that have learned at the conference this weekend. We partner with Evisions to support our reporting. I think because it is a great tool. It's built for education. The Evisions understands the data that we're looking at, and then a lot of the Evision staff are former higher ed professionals, so they get what us as the technical folks at the institutions are trying to report on. They understand the struggles that we're going through, the demands from our higher ups, and have been proactive with that. And so, as I have already mentioned, a lot of the tools that have been recently, the data agents, pivot tables, explore data, the dashboards and being able to do things like that. They know that that's what our upper level administration wants, and so that background and that connections. The other thing that I would add is, Evisions is a trusted partner with Ellucian, and our SIS is Banner, and so having that close partnership with Evisions and our SIS provider, that's a must. In a previous position, I used WebFocus. It was just clunky. I don't see that when I go into Argos and build a data block and have that pushed out to the users. Not to mention, with WebFocus, pushing it out to end users for them to run the report, it didn't work. At least it didn't work for me. But Evisions and Argos does. My previous position was our university used WebFocus, and just the ability to push reports out to the end users. It wasn't intuitive. There were several layers to even get to those reports, and so having a front-facing application, and now with Argos and Argos X with the web client, being able to, they can access that from almost anywhere that need to. And then I think also being responsive to our needs and going through and adding new technology, new capabilities within the software. I think those are a couple of the great things that have addressed those challenges for me. So the advice that I'd give to a new institution would be just do it. I think Evisions is a great company. Argos is a great product. At the same time, I would say be deliberative, and once you make the decision and implement Argos, be deliberative and how you set things up so that you're not building a lot of things out that are kind of replicated. I know that's something that I have in my current position. There's a lot of things, I've inherited from previous individuals, and trying to go through. It's like, well, this data block and this data block do similar things. Why can't we kind of combine those? And so, if you're starting a new implementation, have that deliberative dialogue at the beginning of how are you going to roll it out, so you don't necessarily have that down the road. It's a great company. It is a great software, Argos. I love coming to the conference because not only I was fortunate enough to be able to present the last 2 days, but then I also have the opportunity to interact not only with the Evisions company, but other Evisions clients and see what they're doing, how they're using the tool, And so this conference is great for that, is building that network with others who are in the same position as I am.